construction industry in Spain is the production centre which has seen the biggest growth in recent years. This growth has led to a considerable increase in the number of construction works. A great number of accidents that take place in the construction industry happen when workers fall from heights. This mainly occurs when carrying out construction work on roofs and covered areas, inside and outside shafts, and on scaffolding. To a great extent, this type of accident results in a very high proportion of fatalities, and on many occasions in extremely serious injuries, with important consequences for the victim. These consequences are sometimes of a chronic nature, and in many cases, they prevent a return to normal life. In this video report, we will show you the importance of prevention measures that can be taken to avoid or accidental falls from heights. In order to do this, we will go over the different types of protection that are available, both to the workforce and to the individual, and we will teach you how to make good use of them. Finally, before we begin, it is vital to remember that prevention starts with the individual and that there are norms and procedures to be followed. The importance of using common sense and exercising caution can never be overemphasized.
Minimum applicable legislation. Law for the prevention of risks in the workplace. Law regulating subcontracting in the construction industry. Royal Decree regulating subcontracting in the construction industry. Minimum health and safety measures for the use of work equipment by workers when working on a temporary basis at a height. Minimum health and safety measures for construction work. Minimum health and safety measures for the use of individual protection equipment by the workers. Order by which the essential minimum requirements for the use, assembly, dismantling and maintenance of tubular scaffolding in the independent community of the region of Murcia are regulated.
Falls from a height. Given the seriousness of falls from a height, we are going to give a brief preview of what measures can be taken to avoid such risks. The strategy that needs to be adopted to prevent falls from a height is the following. Prevention of a fall. The best way to avoid risks is to eliminate them, whether it is by following procedures and work methods, by integrating safety measures, or by installing protective devices for the workforce, such as safety rails. Limiting a fall. If it isn't possible to prevent a fall, then one has to limit the effects of a fall by using, for example, nets. Protection of the individual worker. If it is not possible to prevent a fall by the use of devices, or if those devices are insufficient, then we must use individual protection equipment.
Safety rails. The first question that we must consider is, do we have adequate means to prevent an accidental fall? A very basic means of protection are the above-mentioned safety rails. Rails are as important as safety nets since, in the first instance, they prevent workers from falling from a height. Platforms, scaffolding and footbridges, as well as uneven surfaces and existing holes in the work floor, all these present a risk to the workers of falling from a height of 2 meters or more, but who can be protected by means of rails or other equivalent safety systems designed to protect the workforce. The rails should be resistant. They should have a minimum height of 90 centimeters and should have handrails with an additional bar and a baseboard to prevent the workers overstepping or slipping.
The nets. Let us now concentrate on the use and the types of nets. A safety net has a perimeter cord, or another type of arrangement, or a combination of both, designed to catch people who fall from a certain height. So that the net can fulfill its function and guarantee the safety of the worker, it has to fulfill 3 requirements. That all falls take place within the scope of the net, that the person, once caught in the net, does not suffer any injuries, that the net is able to absorb the force of the impact. We also have to bear in mind existing external factors which could affect the state of the nets, and here we note some of them. The climate seriously affects the fabric of the nets, deteriorating them, and therefore diminishing their effectiveness, and consequently increasing the danger level. The nets also deteriorate as a result of oxidation of the iron parts, such as supports and anchorages. To all this, it is necessary to add the natural aging of the net fabric. 2 main types of nets exist. Horizontal catch nets, designed to prevent the workers from falling through openings in the metal framework, the lateral cords being firmly kept in place by supports embedded in the metal framework. Vertical nets with hangman-type netting. As it is the most widely used, we are going to go over some aspects of the hangman-type nets. They are installed so that there is a small catchment pocket in the base of the net. The installation of the nets is done in consecutive sections. The maximum height a person can fall to the net should never be more than 6 meters, or the equivalent of 1 or 2 sections. In order to place the supports, we have to insert squares, supporting each other, the distance between these squares being less than 5 meters. The nets are attached underneath by their perimeter cord to anchorage irons. These anchorage irons being placed on the metal framework edge every 50 centimeters. Wherever possible, the perimeter protection rail should be in place before removing the nets to protect against falls.